Good morning, we're here at the UK Martial Arts Show and I've been joined by Matt Stait. Matt's been appearing on Facebook feeds doing his modern street systems for quite a while now, and I just wondered if you'd tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, sure. Basically, long story short, I did a lot of traditional martial arts and a lot of sport-oriented martial arts for many years. Started working the doors and essentially found that for me I had to modify and adjust some of the things that I was doing to fit that environment, and also learn an entirely new set of skills, the psychological side of it, the build-up, all the pantomime of violence, all that kind of thing, all the stuff that you certainly don't see in a sport environment because it's not relative to that, and you don't often see in a traditional environment because it's such a structured system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it wasn't the physical skills so much; it was how to sort of hone them, because the physical skills apply, across the board, don't they? So it was just a way of making them work within that environment for me, and that then sort of morphed into also the fact that I'm sort of 6'2", quite a big guy, and I move differently to say you will, and so having a one-size-fits-all approach to a system sometimes can be counterproductive because we all move differently. And so basically, so it's morphed into what you see today, which is this sort of hybrid mix of a number of different things.
Yeah. Would this system be ideal for other club instructors if they've got a club of their own already? Is it something they can add to their syllabus?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is essentially the point of this particular thing. I mean, I'm still a great lover of traditional martial arts, sport martial arts. Everything has something to bring to the table. But what I tend to find is, I say there's like a holy trinity of elements towards self-defense, which quite often what people do is they're good in one area and so they overemphasize that and either ignore or gloss over the other parts. So if we look at the psychological aspects of fighting, then we've got to look at how the brain works under confrontation, how your body reacts to that, what kind of things goes on with the build up to the fight, the interview, and how how you read the tells and all that sort of thing. And there's all that. That's a big part of what I would suggest as self-defense, because if you equate that to like crossing the road, you don't teach somebody how to deal with getting hit by a car, you teach them how to cross the road safely. So there's that element, the psychological side of it, what we call the fight before the fight. That's a very big portion of it, which is glossed over for a lot of people because they just don't fully understand how that works. And obviously, doing years and years of training security staff, NHS staff, and various other people, bailiffs, all kind of people like that, who deal with the confrontational roles day to day, and also being involved with conflict management and delivering those courses and stuff like that. I've been able to sort of marry the two together for that side of it, and obviously knowing the laws on self-defense, you'd be amazed how many people out there are teaching self-defense and teaching people what they think is actually the law on self-defense, but they're not actually quite sort of correct in their perception of that. So you've got that side of it, and then obviously you've got the physical side of it, and then you've got what we call like the competitive or the sports side of it, because again I don't want to offend anybody because I don't, but you've got the too deadly to compete brigade in their wraparound shades and combat trousers, you know what I mean?
The Men in Black.
Yeah, bless
them.
them.
There was a movie about it, wasn't there? But
there was,
we won't digress too much.
So, that's not to take away anything from them in that respect, but, if you look at a good level Thai boxer or a good level MMA guy, or even even a medium level, these guys are tough as old boots, and it's no good saying, I'm too scared I might kill somebody. It's because that's nonsense, really, in that respect. And so what you really want is a marry of the three. You want somebody who can work in a competitive arena, who has tried it and pushed it, not necessarily in a sport environment, but it's being tested live in some format one way or another. That's the key, I think.
So what would your advice be to like Joe Public? Because I know obviously we've got martial arts people that are going to be watching this, but there's also going to be some people who've never done martial arts before, and your advice for them to pick something for self-defense, because a lot of people do try and start a martial art, they try and start kickboxing because they say, I want to learn to defend myself. And I always say, well, when you put the gloves on, you've not got the gloves in the street. So what would your advice be to those people when they're looking for a system or something to do?
Well, my bent these days obviously is more self-defense, kind of street orientated. I hate that term, but nonetheless. and we cater for everyone from the ground up. You know, we do instructor programs, but we also do man on the street kind of stuff. Yeah. However, I mean, what I would suggest to people is that they look at what the end goal is. What is it they want? Because it's all well and good saying, you know, I'm just going to look at martial arts, because it's such a wide variety and flavour of martial arts that it's a better way to look at it would be, well, what do you actually want to get from it? Do you want fitness from it? Do you actually want to learn physical skills? Do you want to compete? Do you want to be a champion? Do you want to make friends? You know, do you want to, you know, for a physical workout? You know, so there's something for everybody. So I think the best thing to do really is just to figure out what it is you want from your training, because you know, you'll want something different than I would want, and vice versa. And as another thing on this is, as you age and as you get older and injuries and all the rest of it, I mean, I don't train or do what I do, you know, to do the things that I did at 25, and I couldn't physically keep that up if I wanted to. Yeah. And so at 25, I wanted a completely different type of training than I do now. So, so yeah, I would say it's very individual, and you know, think about what it is that you want to get from it, and then work back from there.
Have you got a website that people can have a look at to see?
Yeah, we've got a couple of websites. So www.modernsamurai.online is the main one. That's got all the online courses and stuff like that. There's a lot of free content on there. There's a lot of tutorials on there that people can access, and it won't cost them anything. Also, my book's on there, which is basically the sort of memoirs of the years working in security. Lots of stories about doing some bodyguarding and close protection stuff, running doors, all that sort of thing. And again, that's an interesting look at that thing. It's not like how I beat this guy up or that guy up, because that's not what it is at all. It's about the humanity of it, really, because that was something that was missing in a lot of these kind of books. So you've got the courses there, you've got the book there. Obviously, there's things like this, which is fantastic. You know, get out there like that. Do seminars and we're in a place, and you can always, obviously, the usual Facebook, Instagram, all that sort of thing. You know, jump on Facebook, say hello. That's great. Happy to talk to people.
So, well, I hope, have you got some copies of your book with you this weekend?
Yeah. We've sold a few, done a few swaps actually, which was great. There's a couple of guys that have and ladies that have actually, you know, sort of written their own books, and when those guys have sort of come up and shown an interest, I've basically said, well, you know, let's just swap books, which is great. So that means I've got some really good stuff to have a look at and read.
Well, I know that the magazine used to do like reviews of books and things like that now, so I don't know if all the people who've got books with them, if they...
Okay, this, by the way, is the book, sorry.
Awesome.
Modern Samurai, a revealing look into the world of the private security industry. It's just been thrown at me. So that's my book, yeah. And yes, we did actually, Bob did actually do a review of the book, if my memory serves.
Brilliant.
And there's quite a few reviews on there. It did hit #1 in its category twice on Amazon, which was great. I was really pleased with that, because it's my first book. I have others in the pipeline now, so I'm sure shortly. And yeah, that was actually I was quite surprised by that, and very pleased the fact that it was by the second day it was #1 in its category. It did that twice, so so that's great. So the reviews are all positive.
It's a great achievement, and I hope that you sell quite a few more copies this weekend, and that you get received as well as...
Yeah, I hope so too, because it turns out that writing a book is actually far more comfortable than getting punched in the face for a living.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me this morning on the couch.
My pleasure.
Look forward to meeting you again in the future.
Absolutely. Thanks very much. Cheers, guys.